Hey, what is up guys? Welcome back to another video. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that little subscription button down below. Really appreciate the support. And if you like the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you hate it, give it a thumbs down. I don't really care. I'm just here to release some awesome content for you guys so you guys can go out and make some money just as I do every single day with phone flipping. So in today's video, I'm actually going to be talking about which phone I buy and sell the most. One thing that I have noticed is I'm able to dominate the market for this certain type of phone that I'm going to be talking about in the video for a couple different reasons. So with that said, let's get into today's video. So the phone that I buy and sell the most is an iPhone 7 Plus. I don't know what it is. It's just kind of one of those things that based on the timing of like all phones out and all phones that will be released, the iPhone 7 simply has become my favorite phone to buy and sell. I truly love it. And obviously I buy other phones like depending like even Androids and stuff like that, but the iPhone 7 probably takes about 60% of all my sales. And in this video I'm going to be talking about 3 reasons why I believe I do dominate the market for it and just simply why I like it so much. So the first reason that I love to buy and sell iPhone 7 Pluses are they truly don't take up your like entire day's budget. If you're going out, obviously you're going to try to buy as many phones as you can, but with us, like since we're not like big wholesalers or anything, we just are starting with a little bit of cash, and especially if you're a beginner, you don't have too much money. So with that said, an iPhone 7 Plus will truly, I buy between like $300 and $350 locally. And with that said, that's not like my entire day's budget. If you've watched my other videos, I typically have about $1,000 kind of saved up, but I typically don't go through that entire $1,000 in one day. That would be quite an aggressive day, but obviously it would be a good day. But with that said, $300, I typically like to spend about $500, $600 max a day. So $300 leaves me about $200-$300 left to go buy another single phone. And with that said, it's not too much, so I only have to buy that one phone. Again, if somebody comes to me and says, I have an iPhone 7 Plus and an iPhone 6, if it was like an iPhone 8 and iPhone 6, I might only be able to buy one or the other, but an iPhone 7 is at a price range around that $300 to $340 where I can buy maybe 1 or 2 other phones. So it does allow me to like have extra cash on hand, and obviously anything older than that, I'm buying a lot cheaper than that. So it's just one of those things where iPhone 7 Pluses are kind of like that perfect middle ground for me. And I simply don't have a problem spending that kind of money on a phone. It doesn't really like kind of scare me anymore. Obviously it did in the beginning, but now that's something like an iPhone 8 Plus and iPhone X where I get a little bit nervous buying and reselling. So the second reason that I do love the iPhone 7 Plus is I kind of recognize that it is the hot phone in the market. I don't know what it is. It might just be the timing. It might be what has been released and what is going to be released. It's just kind of like in that middle ground, as I'm saying. It's just one of those phones where it's not too old, it's not too like new, because obviously if it's too new, it's going to be more on the expensive side. People are going to be very aggressive trying to resell because most of the time they're only going to be holding on to that phone for a little bit while if it's a new phone, and therefore they probably paid a pretty high price for it. Whereas people trying to like buy and sell iPhone 7s, it's just kind of one of those phones that is truly hot in the market right now, and that's kind of why I've seen in the past like 2-3 months that this phone has been the bulk of my sales. So the third and probably the most important reason why I think the iPhone 7 has been my hot phone and is my favorite phone right now to resell is that people truly don't know the value. As I said before, my second point, there has been older phones like that, typically like iPhone 5s and iPhone 6, 6 Plus, 6S Plus. There's the 7, and then it's the 7 Plus, and then there's like now the 8, 8 Plus, and X. So it's really in that middle ground where people really don't know if it's starting to devalue, if it's still holding its value. If you guys look on eBay, obviously it's devaluing quite significantly. A couple months ago, I was reselling those for $550 on eBay, whereas now you can really only get them for like $450. So it has gone down significantly. But with that said, obviously the price should be going down that people are trying to sell them for locally. And that's where I really take advantage of. Most of the iPhone 7 Pluses I do not resell like on apps or like where I have to ship out the phone like eBay and Mercari. Also, most of them locally because it's not only a hot phone to sell, it is a hot phone to buy. People want the Plus, but they don't want like the new like 8 and X simply because those are out of their price range. A 7 Plus is kind of the best phone for anybody that wants to look for like the newer technology where it is the bigger screen. They don't have to deal with that smaller screen. With that said, it is an older generation one, so they still get a good price on it. And selling it for $400 when I buy for $300 is definitely a good deal for that buyer, because retail, they're going for a couple hundred more than that. So it is a great middle ground for the iPhone 7 Pluses. It's going to be interesting to see when it kind of dives off, because obviously the iPhone 6 Plus was like that at one point, where it was a new technology, but it wasn't too new or anything, so people could still buy it at an affordable price, but have that newer technology feel. The fourth reason why I love the iPhone 7 Plus is that we're at a point where we can really buy and sell any condition of it. If it has a bad LCD, we could probably still make money on it on eBay. If it has a cracked screen, we could still make money for it on eBay. Like the cracked will still go for like $350, so all we have to buy it for is around $200. And if you use the techniques that I talk about in the video, devaluing that phone because it's cracked should be a pretty simple task when approaching a seller that has a cracked iPhone 7 Plus. Like sealed in box will go for like $600. iCloud locked will go for $200. As I said, like just a normal used one will go for $450. And then even selling locally will pretty much go between $400 and $500 if you're taking the right pictures and everything like that, and like approaching the selling aspect of phones in the right way. But really, we can really sell these phones in any condition. Like with the iPhone 6 Plus, if it's like iCloud locked, it's really hard to find value in it on eBay. Yes, there is value. Like sometimes they'll go for like $150, $200. But to have somebody to make the profit that we're looking for, which is like between like 80 and 120 bucks and plus, we have to buy that phone pretty low, which is pretty hard to convince somebody to buy like a bigger phone, like a Plus, for below $100. And then you look at like iPhone just 6s, unless they're like perfect condition, or you're like actually like a phone repair, you know how to make those repairs for cracked screens, it's kind of hard to find that kind of profit that we're looking for if you're reselling on eBay. And especially it's almost impossible to sell those phones locally, so you're limited to like eBay platform where people are actually fixing them and doing whatever they have. But iPhone 7 Pluses, if almost anything that goes wrong with it, we can find a range where we can resell it. Again, like there's like the iCloud locked, it's cracked, belt LCD, touchscreen doesn't work, foggy camera, whatever it may be, it's going to have a pretty significant value, because again, it's in that middle period where it's not too cheap, it's not too expensive. So we're most likely going to always offer at least $100 for it, obviously depending on the condition for an iPhone 7 Plus. And then like almost the minimum value for an iPhone 7 Plus, as long as it's not like train wrecked, is like $200 on eBay. So there is room to make profit there. That's why I do love the iPhone 7 Pluses, and that's honestly why I buy so much of them. You guys probably know iPhone 6s and 6 Pluses will come to you all the time where they say it's iCloud locked, it's cracked. Almost those older phones always have something wrong with them. It's kind of hard to find new. And if they are, they're like, people overprice them. Just, I don't know about the market, it's dumb, but whatever. So that's probably why just so many iPhone 7s are actually like in my sale list, simply because I can accept a lot more of them than I can with like the older generation phones. So with that said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you made it this far, I definitely appreciate it. It really means a lot to me if you're watching these entire videos, because that means you care. That means you're the kind of person that's set out to make a lot of money doing phone flipping. I'm not an expert. I'm just here releasing all the information that I apply every single day. I'm not going to give you information that I don't apply myself. So I would love to hear what kind of phones you guys are reselling the most. I talked to a couple people through Facebook Messenger. If you're not in that phone flipping Facebook group, it is that first link down below. It's free to join. But I've talked to a couple people. People have PM'd me. It's pretty interesting. I've heard different kind of intakes on like their market and what kind of phones are popular there and what kind of prices they are going for. So if you've made it to this far in the video, leave a comment down below. I just want to kind of engauge how many people are actually making it to the end of the video, and leave what kind of phone you are like finding is kind of like your perfect phone to buy, and which one your town is selling the most of, and which one you're buying the most of. So with that said, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed, or a thumbs down if you're a loser. Hit that little subscription button down below. Have a great Monday, and I'll see you tomorrow in the next video.